Picture this. Have you ever felt that deeply eerie presence while walking down an empty engineering hostel corridor late at night? If you've ever lived in a dorm, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's late. You're walking down that long, desolate hallway. You've got that one harsh fluorescent tube light flickering overhead, throwing these weird shadows everywhere. You might see a tiny sliver of light under a door here and there. Maybe someone's frantically coding, pulling an all-nighter for an assignment, or, dealing with a messy late-night breakup. But out in the hallway, it's just heavy, suffocating silence.
So, the narrative grounds us right here, 1 a.m., the boys' hostel at the Indian Institute of Innovation. And down on the ground floor corridor, there's literally just one room with its light still blazing, room 107. Inside is our protagonist, a fourth-year engineering student named Ravi. He's totally alone while the rest of the campus is dead asleep. But Ravi? He is wide awake, gearing up for what's supposed to be the most important day of his entire academic career.
He's in an absolute pressure cooker environment. We learn he's desperately prepping for a placement interview with this massive tech company, Hypotenuse Technologies. He already got rejected from a previous opportunity which really devastated him. So he is not leaving anything to chance tonight. You can picture the desk, empty coffee mugs everywhere, a whiteboard just completely covered in complex engineering formulas. He is pouring his heart out trying to secure this job. And outside his window, total pitch black darkness, complete silence. It's that unnatural calm right before a massive storm hits.
But then, out of nowhere, that heavy calm just shatters. There's this single, sharp thud that echoes from the corridor right outside his door. It sounds like something incredibly heavy was just dropped. Now, at first, Ravi just tries to brush it off. I mean, dorms are notoriously noisy, right? Weird sounds are basically just part of the background ambience.
His logical brain kicks in to rationalize it. He assumes it's probably just a drunk student stumbling back late, or maybe someone clumsily tripping on their way to the bathroom. But the reality is so much worse. Because a few moments later, that footstep sound morphs into this low, menacing, completely unnatural growl echoing down the hall. It honestly doesn't sound human at all. It sounds like a wild animal is just roaming this empty corridor.
So Ravi slowly opens his door and peeks out. The hallway is completely empty. The only illumination is that one flickering tube light. But right under that strobing light, he notices something on the floor. It's this thin, dark line trailing across the tiles. And it leads all the way from the common bathroom, stretches right past his door, and heads toward the stairs. His curiosity just gets the better of him, and he leans in to look a little closer at this mysterious trail.
That's when it hits him. He realizes this dark line isn't dirty water from some leaky pipe. It's thick, dark, red blood. You can imagine the pure dread washing over him. And exactly as that realization sets in, these terrifying, blood-curdling screams erupt from the common bathroom at the end of the hall. It is the sound of someone in absolute agonizing pain.
Mustering up basically every ounce of courage he has, Ravi follows that blood trail back to the bathroom. He slowly peeks his head inside, and he is just met with sheer shock. There's a student, completely drenched in blood, violently biting into the neck of a first-year named Amit. But the absolute horror here isn't just the attack itself, it's who is doing it. The attacker is none other than Virat, Ravi's close friend and regular cricket buddy.
Ravi is totally paralyzed by this. He's confused, he's terrified, like what on earth just happened to his friend? But as Ravi instinctively takes a step forward to try and help the junior, Virat just snaps his head around. He locks eyes with Ravi, lets out this guttural growl, and starts moving toward him with this deeply unnatural, terrifyingly disjointed walk. Seeing his best friend turn into this predator, panic just takes over. Ravi spins around, sprints back to room 107, and slams the door, locking it as tight as he can from the inside.
Safe inside, well, for the moment anyway, Ravi's phone suddenly lights up in the dark. He opens up the hostel WhatsApp group, and bam, over 500 unread messages are just pouring in. These frantic texts capture this massive campus-wide hysteria perfectly. People are texting, "Bro, lock the room. Don't open the door. People have gone mad. They're biting each other." Ravi is swiping through this, reading it in absolute disbelief.
And it's through this chaotic group chat that we find out the terrifying cause of all this. Earlier that evening, there was a pre-placement party. The college toppers, the brightest minds on campus, were given this welcome drink. Only, it actually wasn't a drink at all. It was some mysterious serum. Drinking it turned these top-tier students into violent, rabid attackers who are now actively hunting down everyone else, biting them and turning them into monsters too. So Ravi's just absorbing this absolutely bizarre, terrifying info, and then the hostel's electricity cuts out completely. The network drops. The room goes pitch black, except for the faint blue glow of his laptop. And in that blue light, he sees a shadow forming at the bottom of his door. Someone is right outside.
The narrative gives us this escalating, terrifying timeline for the break-in. First second, a single knock. Ravi is trembling. He asks, "Who is it?" Total silence. Then 3 louder knocks. By 10 seconds, the door handle starts violently shaking left and right as whoever is out there desperately tries to get in. The heavy wooden door actually starts to splinter. 20 seconds. Dead, heavy silence again, nothing. Ravi's thinking maybe they gave up. Then, 25 seconds. Boom. The door is hit with such massive force it completely shatters inward. And there stands Virat, breathing heavily, growling with this terrifying fury.
Ravi knows right then this might literally be the last day of his life. As Virat lunges at him, Ravi makes a desperate move. He grabs his heavy desk chair, smashes it right over Virat's head, shoves past him, and just sprints wildly toward the main campus gate. But his path is blocked, forcing him to veer off. He dives into the shadows of the college library and scrambles to hide behind this massive, towering bookshelf.
Right before ducking in, though, Ravi sees it. Over 100 infected students staggering together in this massive horde. They're limping, their clothes are torn to shreds, covered in bite marks. But the creepiest detail, all of their eyes are glowing with this blank white sheen, and they were all converging straight toward Ravi.
So now, Ravi is trembling behind the bookshelf in the pitch-dark library. He's watching as the infected slowly start to shuffle in, but eventually they kind of seem to wander back out. Ravi lets out a breath. He thinks he actually survived. But then, a single drop of blood falls right onto his face from the shelf above. The threat wasn't just on the ground floor.
He slowly looks up, and to his absolute horror, Virat is perched up there like a gargoyle on top of the bookshelf. Before Ravi can even process it, Virat pounces, crashing down onto him. Ravi's agonizing screams echo endlessly through the library, which of course attracts the rest of the horde. Dozens of infected students swarm the aisle, completely engulfing him, and the scene just fades to black.
Sometime later, Ravi's eyes snap back open. Except they aren't human anymore. They're glowing with that same blank, dead white. He's become a zombie. In a single night, the Indian Institute of Innovation, this place of studying, toppers, and assignments, has violently transformed into a wasteland. The Indian Institute of Zombies. So who's going to stop this? What happens next?
The big twist from
The premise itself is just sheer comedic genius when you think about it. College toppers turning into zombies because they chugged a mysterious serum at a pre-placement party. It perfectly takes the ultra-competitive, hyper-stressed vibe of an Indian engineering college and just drops a zombie apocalypse right in the middle of it. The source material notes that while fear is spreading everywhere, the chaotic makeshift survival tactics that the regular students and backbenchers use to fend off these zombie toppers will absolutely have you laughing out loud. It is literally survival of the fittest, hostel style.
So, when can you actually check this out? The materials confirm that Isis is officially hitting theaters on May 15th. They heavily encourage grabbing your friends, your hostel mates, your study groups, and heading to the cinema for this wildly entertaining ride. It's completely designed to be a blast, a shared experience packed with jump scares and endless laughter.
Which leaves us with one final question to wrap up this explainer. Are you ready to take admission in the Indian Institute of Zombies? Definitely mark your calendars for May 15th, prep those survival skills, and get ready for a completely unforgettable hostel experience. Thanks so much for diving into this source material with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.